Good morning and welcome to all to the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce Agro Summit. The theme of today's topic is value addition of agricultural produce, challenges and opportunities. I would like to invite, without wasting the time, Dr. Lalit Bhasin, the National President of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, for his welcome and initial address.
Thank you, Mr. Sudhir Kumar. I must compliment, the North India Council of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce for putting in place this very crucial, important and topical summit, which is appropriately called the Agro Summit, where the matter will be discussed regarding value addition of agriculture produce, challenges and opportunities. So my compliments to the regional leadership of Dr. Upasana Arora and Mr. Arun Karna, who is the Senior Vice President, as also the Secretariat headed by Ms. Kashish Tyagi, the Regional Director, and Nilu Sadana. I welcome all of you to this important summit. We are indeed grateful to have with us today, who will be joining later, but it's my duty to welcome him in advance, the Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, Shri Kailash Chaudhary. Our participants from all over India and US are eagerly looking forward to hearing from the Honorable Minister. Dr. Sudhanshu, Secretary, Animal Products and Processed Food, Government of India, is also with us today to give policy insights on agri-processing. We welcome you, sir. May I also recognize the presence of Dr. Mariano Bellard, Senior Regional Agricultural Attaché to the United States Embassy in New Delhi, who will give us the US perspective on the subject and how our two countries can handle this vital segment. We have among us one of the most distinguished lawyers of the country, recognized not only in India but all over, Mr. Lakshmi Kumaran, who also advises, the Government of India on various bilateral issues between India and the foreign governments. So welcome to you, Mr. Lakshmi Kumaran. We have Mr. P. Sudhir Kumar and also the distinguished presence of Mr. R.S. Sodhi. They bring in with them, great experience and expertise and will be contributing significantly to this summit. We also have Mr. Arun Karna with us. He's the Senior Vice President of the North India Council of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. World over, there is a renewed focus on agriculture. It is born out of a realization that manufacturing and services sectors can grow only when agriculture provides the basic impetus to the engine of growth. Let me briefly refer to what the former US President John Kennedy said about farmers, and in that context about agriculture. He said, and I quote, "The farmer is the only man in our economy who buys everything at retail, sells everything at wholesale, and pays the freight both ways," unquote. He went on to add, and again I quote, "A technological revolution on the farm has led to an output explosion, but we have not yet learned to harness that explosion usefully." Adding value to India's agricultural produce is a need of the hour. It will enhance profit margins and agri-exports of the country, besides enhancing farmers' income. That will not come in a vacuum. In order to truly leverage its food processing capabilities, India needs to fix the issues related to value addition such as quality, low R&D, and infrastructural gaps, logistics including cold chains. There is a need for the government to work with different stakeholders, starting from the farmers, to ensure uniform quality of produce, better storage, and processing technology. I do not want to come between you and the experts and policymakers whom you are keen to listen. I wish every one of you a good takeaway from this summit after hearing of our eminent experts. So now I hand over to Kashish to take it forward, or to Mr. Sudhir Kumar. Yeah.
So, Mr. Sudhir Kumar,
Yeah.
thank you so much, sir, for your address.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Lalit Bhasin, for the wonderful introduction speech about the agricultural situation in India and how it contributes to the world economy. I will speak only about 2 to 3 minutes. What is value addition? Basically, value addition is a process of changing or transforming an agriculture produce from its original state to a state where it gives more value. So basically, it gives increased profitability to the farmers income increases, and also the shelf life, transportation cost comes down by doing a value addition for the product, and also it is safe to consume the value added products if you keep yourself like the cold chain is maintained, and also it increases the employment. And also, if you are having a surplus production of food grains or agricultural produce, you can convert it into value added products and store it in a cold chain, and it can be transported to different places. And value addition has a lot of opportunities in various fields. Agriculture, like we all know, India is the second largest grower of fruits and vegetables. And we always talk about 30% of our fruits and vegetable goes waste in post-harvest losses. I do agree. The losses are not only contributed to the cold chain loss, how we pack it, handle it, everything. So wherever there is a surplus of vegetables and fruits, we can convert them into value-added products. And there are a lot of opportunities for Indian farmers. Of course, my next speaker, Dr. Sodhi, is one of the pioneers in converting milk into value-added products. So he will also give us vision into this value-added product for agriculture produce. But we are, I was just going through what is our value-added exports of agriculture produce. It's hardly not even in 1 or 2% of what we produce. We are not able to export or even convert whatever we produce into value-added products. So there is a huge opportunity for making value-added products of agriculture. But at the same time, there are challenges, as Dr. Bhasin said, the infrastructure, the capital. It's a capital-intensive industry. So if you have to convert a product into a value-added product, we need to invest in machinery, technology. That is more important. And at the same time, one more thing is the high price of the raw materials. If the raw material is highly priced, farmer is very much inclined to sell it to the local market to get immediate returns. So it all depends. So if you put a plant for value addition, and if the produce is also less because of any climate change or lesser monsoon, so the investment invested in value addition goes a little bit waste. So, and these are seasonal products. So you have to have multiple products for value added so that the year round you use it to convert it to value added products. With this, I think I will close my speech, and I will invite Dr. Sodhi to give his address. We are all very eager to learn from him. He is pioneer. He is currently the president of Indian Dairy Association, and he is pioneer for transforming Amul into such a big brand with doing more than 60,000 crores. He was the managing director of GCMMF for the past 35 years. Welcome, Dr. Sodhi.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, Sudhir ji, for the very good introduction. And first of all, Honorable Shri Kailash Chaudhary ji, Minister for State Agriculture Farm, Dr. Sudhanshu, Secretary APEDA, Dr. Lalit Besinji, President, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Mariano Ballard from the US Embassy, and the other panelists, and I see Chairman NDDB has also joined. I'd like to thank the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce for organizing this one-day seminar for a very, very apt subject in India, because in India, right now the food, but in food per se, the value added, when you say value added, I call it more packed or branded. There is revolution is going on, especially after the COVID. Well, first of all, I like to, Mr. Sudhir Kumarji mentioned, I like to tell, based on my experience of 41 years in the food industry, my definition of value addition. I think value addition is a product where you can provide, first of all, the better value to the farmer for his or her produce. Simultaneously, you can provide a better product in a good shape. In case of fresh dairy or basically food is everybody wish to have fresh, in a more fresh form, keeping intact their nutrition and the taste. And also consumers are finding that if I am paying 10-20% extra or 30% extra, I'm getting the delivery. I don't agree with the definition of value addition when you go for very good, very, very flowery packaging, a lot of good display product, and the packaging cost is more than the content. So I don't think that is the value addition. Is what is farmer got or producer, what consumer got. And third is how return to the business has happened. Same kg of milk or same kg of fruits or same kg of vegetable, if you sell loose versus branded or packed, what is the extra earning to the business? So I think that is the thing. Now coming to the why we are talking value addition food now. Let me tell you, India today is not only going to be one of the biggest food market in the world, which is around 50 lakh crore or $600 billion, but also is the fastest growing food or value added market in India. Indians basically is a lower middle class and other thing, but now with the more income, we are upgrading ourselves from purely more of cereal or carbohydrate diet to more towards protein and fat rich diet. And also because of more income, more urbanization, more convenience, more very small families, people want to buy more of branded, or in our language we called it value added product. Out of this 600 billion food market of 50 lakh crore, if you see the value added packed is only 11%. So that is the opportunity. Only I can say around 6 lakh crore is the branded or value added form, and in a $70 billion. But if you see out of that, 50% is only dairy, around 3 lakh crore or 35 billion. Balance 3 lakh crore is you take fruits and vegetables, poultry, fisheries, cereals, everything. So in case of dairy, whatever surplus is there, 30-35% may be of value added or paid. But in case of other, it is less than 5-6% is only value added. But gradually we have seen demand or acceptability is coming for the value added food products in all category. So like Mr. Sudhir and Dr. Basin mentioned that I should see what are the learnings of dairy sector which can be used in other food for rapid change into value added form or packed form. I think one reason is, I think, which is very, very important is that unless the stakeholders are feeling happy or they say they have got better return, that branded or value-added industry will not grow. And those two main stakeholders are consumers and farmers. And dairy industry, when grew to this level, the world's biggest today, 222 million metric ton, with more than $120 billion, $130 billion. The reason is the one side continuously for the last 50 years, farmers feel they are getting very stable and competitive price for their produce, and whatever they are producing, markets are there, and there is no volatility, too much volatility in the price. The other side, consumers have buying packed branded dairy product thinking that, yeah, it is packed, but taste is intact, nutrition is intact, and also it is affordable, and whatever 10, 15, 20% I am paying vis-a-vis the loose or unbranded, I'm getting value back. And that is what is required in case of other value-added food which we wish to convert into that. One thing, sir, I would like to tell, when you say value-added or packed, one thing is there where I feel consumer is not going to any compromise, and that is across all income segment, all of age, geography, religion segment is always consumer look for three things. First and utmost is taste. Second is nutrition. And for India, third is very important, is affordability, because India is a country of lower middle class. So whatever value addition you want to do for any food, you have to see it should meet this criteria of these three, then we should look for any other thing. And also, other area which I feel is why India has been successful in dairy, and that is required for other food, is the supply chain efficiency. In case of dairy, whatever a liter of milk consumer pays in any city of India, a farmers get, depending upon 65 to 80% of the what consumer pays, depending on whether cooperative, private, geography. Vis-a-vis all over world, farmers get of 35, 40. So in India, when packed or value-added milk is sold, it does not mean the farmer will get less price. In fact, farmer get more price. Whereas you have seen in other places when value-added benefit is basically either going to the business or to the retailer. That may not be the true in the case of India. The other I have seen in India, gradually, consumer want to go for value-added, but his expectation of value addition is more fresh. Long shelf life is not value added. Consumer want fresh product, packed product, intact taste at affordable price. I've seen this in case of like curd or yogurt, how we shifted consumer overnight to the from loose and homemade to the bad because we provided good product at just 15% extra cost. And also I feel whole food industry, because has to work to convert consumer to the value from, because there's a lot of room for everybody. It's not that we are going to snatch the market share for that, because value added or packed food industry is growing at the rate of double-digit volume growth. It may vary. Some industry may go 10%, some may be growing at 20 to 25%. So there is a lot of things. The other, my experience is in case of value-added food, which is very important, is the regional. I have found that consumers are looking for regional and local brands, because mindset is that food means regional or local brand. They are more fresh, they are affordable, they are of my taste. What are the other areas where industry has to work is, I think, technological innovation. We are very fortunate. I have seen what 30, 40 years back, the cold chain or refrigeration facilities are over. Today, we are totally. Earlier, we used to get only cold room or the cold refrigerated cabinet in the bigger cities. Now you'll go to any village with 1,000 population, you will find a shop having refrigerated and ice cream cabinet. So last mile availability is there. So what is required is how industry can reach to that by using the cold chain in a more economical way. The other area is, I think, very, very affordable packaging. In food, India cannot afford very expensive packaging. And we have seen number of examples in this. So I can tell you examples are numerous. Leave aside dairy. You walk into any shop, you could not imagine some years back that you will get sweets in packaging form with 45 days shelf life. Indian sweet, that is the biggest trend. Dosa mix, sugarcane juice, coconut juice. I mean, this all has happened, and I feel anything, any food can be value added if it can keep the taste intact, it can keep the nutrition intact, it can reach to the consumer in as fresh as form, and most important in India is the affordability. I thank you very much for organizing. I know a number of other sessions are there, so you'll be getting more in those sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sodhi. I would like to now call upon Mr. V. Lakshmi Kumaran, Managing Partner of Lakshmi Kumaran and Sridharan Associates. He is a very famous lawyer with more than 37 years of experience. Welcome, Dr. Lakshmi. Welcome, Mr. V. Lakshmi Kumaran, please.
Thank you, Mr. Sudhir. Dear Lalit, Sudhir, Sodhi, and Mariano, and others. I do not know what a lawyer is doing in a discussion on value-added products for agricultural challenges. Yes, lawyers do have a role to play. I look at this way. I agree with the definition or understanding of the value-added products. Giving fresh products at the same taste, at affordable prices, with a longer shelf life. It also involves food processing industry where the food is actually converted to the next level, which is used, taken along with other items like for jams, fruit juices, etc. There is also a value-added products. I wanted to talk about the challenges and the opportunities. Challenges today, when we are talking about consumption of this food item within India or outside India. The one question is being asked is that the food I am taking, how much carbon emission has taken place? How much is the emission of nitrous oxide, which ultimately lead to greenhouse gases? This is the buzzword today. And the use of synthetic fertilizers has actually contributed to the emission of carbon dioxide as also nitrous oxide. So if you are going to ask the importing countries, especially developed countries, to buy your product, this question is going to be asked. We need to necessarily look at our home and what are the things which we can do. And if we want to export our food products, we need to have the pesticide residues at a lower level, and also to convince people that these products are really organic based and they do not contribute to the environmental issues. That is one of the big challenges we are going to face. Apart from the challenges we are talking about, the cold chain, etc., separately. There are many more challenges, regulatory issues, and the ability to reach the consumer fastest time. And today, if you look at the taxation of the food products in India, the whole theme seems to be that if a person can afford, therefore you can pay higher tax. I think the mindset has to change. That where a product has to go through a long cold chain to reach the customer, there is a value-added cost everywhere, and therefore those products should be charged lower. It is not about the affordability, because the cost of transportation and cost of maintenance. And there is a time has come then the government has to sit down and then say what should be the rate of tax, not depending upon the purse of the person, but depending upon the cost involved in the transportation. Now we come to the opportunities. Opportunities as far as the consumption of agricultural produce in a natural form or processed form or packaged form is definitely growing. And Indian consumer is getting more and more sophisticated. They are afford to pay a little more price provided they get assured quality and also get a feel that product which is consuming is not causing harm to the climate. It's very important thing has been actually coming into the consumer's mind. Now, as far as the export market is concerned, we just have heard it, we have almost minimal. However, India is entering into free trade agreements with a number of developed countries like, for example, Australia, UK, EU, Canada, Israel, and also the Middle East. We are also having a separate discussion in the IPE of Indo-Pacific Economic Framework of the pillars of supply chain, etc. India is contributing and then they are actually becoming it. Once the free trade agreements are in place, when the tariffs come down for India, export from here, once you fulfill the rules of origin criteria and also take care of the technical issues and the food residual issues, etc., the export market as far as India is concerned is tremendous. As compared to other neighboring countries or other countries, our products will be entering this market to cheaper prices because of the lower custom duties. And that will actually boost. But only thing is our industry must get prepared for meeting that higher standards and apply the same standard for Indian market also. Please do not have a different value system or the technical specifications for the export and a different thing for the Indian market. If the farmers or the people in charge of the supply chain can take care of this and ensure that the quality product answering all the tests and all technical specifications, if they are met, they can definitely export to other countries and also to consumers in India. And it is indeed a win-win situation. I think I should stop here, Lalit. I think I should. Normally lawyers take a longer time. They don't know when to finish. So I think you have taught me when to finish. Therefore, I stop here at this point of time. Suffice it to say, there are challenges and the opportunities. If there are only opportunities without challenges, life is not interesting. You need to have challenges to overcome. And once you overcome, the opportunities are plenty. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Thank you, sir. I would now like to call upon Dr. Sudhanshu, Secretary APIDA, who has 32 years experience in the field of export promotion and also processed food products, livestock, etc. Welcome, Dr. Sudhanshu.
Thank you, Sudhirji. In this session, Dr. Mariano Ballard from US Embassy, Dr. Lalit Bhasin, Dr. R.S. Sodhi, Neelu Sadana ji. Good morning to all of you. Let me compliment Indo-American Chamber of Commerce for organizing this program, bringing the experts together for having a brainstorming on this important aspect of value addition of agriculture produce. And it's in such an important area, we all know, and especially when we say the country is an agrarian economy, and especially blessed with varied climate zones due to which we are able to have a range of agriculture and horticulture products, and which basically bless the country to have all the products for our domestic consumption and sending to the export market. And if we see the kind of opportunities we have, the kind of product production clusters we have, just to cite example, potential in terms of potential fruits, we have mango clusters of fresh mangoes, Alfonso in Konkan area, Kesar in Gujarat, Banganpalli in southern part, Andhra, Telangana, northern part of the country for fresh mangoes. In the processed mango pulp from Chittoor area, Krishnagiri area, why I'm mentioning that? Because in number of products, the abundant production, we have the production pockets, the production clusters are there. For pomegranate is also one of the potential product in Maharashtra, Karnataka, the production areas, production clusters are there. Grapes is a success story in the horticulture basket of the country. And other products like banana, around the year, we are having the production for banana of different varieties of banana. Potato, we have the potato clusters in UP, West Bengal, Punjab, similar in the case of onion. And due to this strength, we are able to have some of the processing clusters also. For example, the mango pulp, which I already mentioned about, dehydration onion cluster, which is in Gujarat district, Bhavnagar, Mahua, where roughly 50 to 60 processing units are there. And all of them are exporting because the consumption of dehydrated onion is not much in the domestic market. And Gherkins is a success story, which is in and around Bangalore, roughly around, again, 50, 60, 70 units in and around Bangalore are there. Groundnuts, processing units in Gujarat, in southern part of the country. Rajasthan is also emerging as a cluster. Why I was mentioning about, despite having the potential for the production, and in terms of the cereals also, we have wheat, rice, and other cereal crops. But the kind of processing level is required. Why we are lacking on that? And since last so many years, we have been listening about that the processing is very less. So though a good amount of growth has happened, some success stories are there. But despite, we need to explore the possibility how this can be converted into a success story in terms of getting more value addition, more processing. I was listening to Mr. Sodhi and the other panelists about in terms of the definition of value addition. So I would not go for the, but only like to mention that when we say for the value addition or the processing, the different level means primary processing, which we at present we are able to have the primary processing. Then secondary processing, tertiary processing, we are lacking in that, because ultimate the benefit can be reaped in if the secondary and tertiary processing is encouraged. India currently process very less amount of agri products output, and most of the processing is done in India, which can be classified only in the primary processing. And due to that, only this further level of processing for we say secondary or tertiary needs to be encouraged, for which right kind of infrastructure is required, right kind of quality initiatives are required in terms of whether at the harvest level, pre-harvest, where we are able to address the issues of pesticide residue, because when we specifically from the global perspective or from the export perspective, which is one of the major challenge, that pesticide residue need to be controlled, for which the measures are required at the farm level. The farmer need to be educated which pesticide is to be used and in what particular dose or the quantity, which requires the sufficient amount of extension work also. And the current processing, if we see, which is done through rice, sugar, edible oil, and flour mills, which is in the primary processing. But this primary processing is also very low in comparison to if we see the small countries where the production is not much, but they are able to have higher value addition, and due to which they are able to have good amount of value added products in their own country and are able to export to the global market also. We all know that India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world. However, the processing levels in F&B is currently very low, which need to be, this potential needs to be further harnessed. The product areas of, for example, IQF product, the frozen products, pulp, puree, paste, sauces, snacks, dressing, a number of products which can be made. And finally, the benefit can be reaped in by the farmer, processor, and the exporters. So, in terms of encouraging the value addition, there is a need from in the entire supply chain of production and processing. All the aspects need to be strength from starting from the harvesting part, then processing, this cold chain, packaging, labeling also plays a crucial role. Especially in a packaged product, if the proper labeling is not there, that can pose challenges. Some of the good examples, for example, in the case of cereals, millet, we all know that International Year of Millet is being organized, and Government of India has taken initiatives through its various line ministries, and APIDA, the organization which I represent, has been given the major responsibility for promoting millet and value-added millet products. I would like to inform the August, the participants, the gathering here, that in a short time, the millet is a success, going to be a success story, that in the last 1 to 1.5 years, large number of small startups have come up with good packaged product. We organized a program in Pusa where we got 100 stalls set up, and large range of millet products the processors were able to showcase, the processors and the exporters. Like, for example, no one thought of that we will be able to see millet pasta, millet noodles, millet ice cream, millet milk. So number of products. So this gives a good lead that with the efforts of all these stakeholders, in a short time, when the product like millet, if we are able to have good value-added products with good packaging, good labeling, that similar can be done for the other products also, and we have a large range of products. We are organizing almost more than 16 international trade programs. Some of the programs we have already organized, for example, Gulf Food, Dubai. And one program we are going to organize in Canada next week, where we are going to showcase millet and millet value-added products, apart from APIDA scheduled products also, which has processed value-added products. So I feel that lot of potential is there, prospects are there. Number of new product areas can be basically thought of or identified, where basically the industry need to work in. But here the role of basically R&D institutions, the concerned R&D institutions like CFTRI or the other institutions under the Agriculture University can play a crucial role. For example, NIFTEM or this IIFPT Tanjavur can play a crucial role in guiding the entrepreneurs that what kind of value-added products can be prepared from the raw material which is available in different geographical locations. Because if any new entrepreneur who want to venture, at least they are able to see that this is the product which they can make and package it properly, brand it properly, then they can have a good opportunity in the domestic market also, as well as sending to the export market. As far as the export market is concerned, because whatever we have cannot be exported, because it is to be customized as per the requirement of the importing country or as per the requirement of the consumer in the importing country. So any exporter or the processor need to customize the product as per the requirement, have to comply as per the regulations of that country, because that is more important, because if that is not complied, the export will not be possible, and if it will be possible, then it can be rejected. And that caution needs to be taken. So with this, I would like to conclude my remarks, but would definitely like to request the organizers to list out the takeaways from this particular program in terms of a say a roadmap or the action points which can be circulated and disseminated. How India, US can jointly work on the areas where this food processing can be strengthened within the country, how the further export can be enhanced to US market. I think this will be a good opportunity. So I will request that as an outcome of this program, this can be listed out and which can be circulated. And with this, I would like to convey my best wishes for the grand success of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Sudhanshu.
thank you, Dr. Sudhanshu. I think it was
Thank
a
you.
brilliant presentation. You have
Thank
set
you.
out to see the roadmap of how this can be taken forward also, particularly in the field of millets. And you mentioned that you are having some events outside India, but I would suggest that there should be some events organized in India. And for instance, in Varanasi, if that is possible, and our Indo-American Chamber of Commerce would be very happy to support such an initiative by APIDA, and we could have it. So I would also request you to consider certain events in India where we could jointly work on this. Thank you.
Dr. Wasim, thank you. Definitely, we will explore the possibility. And in Varanasi, I would like to inform that APIDA is already working. Varanasi was a landlocked area, and with the efforts made in the last 2 years, where from scratch we started, no export was there. And on today's date, we have been able to export more than 100 metric tons of vegetables and rice.
Wonderful.
So we intend to organize a program in the Varanasi region shortly, and we will definitely work with the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. We would rather love to collaborate, and we will definitely organize in Varanasi, and we will let you know.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you
thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Sudhir Kumar.
Thank you. And as Dr. Upasana has joined, I would like to invite her for her insights into this program. Is Dr. Upasana there?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But first we could ask Dr. Mariano Bellard, you see, to give the address. Then Upasana ji can speak before the Honorable Minister, because she'll introduce him also.
Sir, unfortunately, the minister is getting delayed, sir. That's what the message
So that's
is.
all right. So let's have Dr. Mariano Bellard, I think, to speak.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to call upon Dr. Mariano Bellard. He is currently the Foreign Service Officer and an international economist attached to the US Embassy, New Delhi. Welcome, Dr. Mariano Bellard.
Well, thank you, Director Kumar, and thank you, Dr. Wasim. Good morning and greetings from the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi. As the U.S. Embassy's Senior Regional Cultural Attaché, I'm greatly pleased and honored to have this opportunity to speak with you today here at the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce Agro Summit 2023. Representing the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, Foreign Agricultural Service, FAS, a foreign affairs trade agency, I am always fond of making the statement that the United States is not just the world's largest exporter of food and agricultural products, but it is also the world's largest importer of these commodities. In this regards, U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, who heads the USDA ministry, recently attended the G7 Agricultural Summit, where he highlighted the importance of expanding overseas trade for American farmers and ranchers. Secretary Vilsack stressed the need for the United States to remain competitive in the global marketplace, emphasizing the role of agriculture in strengthening diplomatic ties with other countries. The Agriculture Secretary indicated the importance of sustainable agricultural practices and environmental stewardship in promoting U.S. products overseas. At the same time, Secretary Vilsack highlighted the potential of U.S. agriculture to provide solutions to global challenges such as climate change and food security, calling for increased collaboration among nations to address these issues. By promoting U.S. products and removing trade barriers, the United States can remain competitive in global marketplace and strengthen its diplomatic ties with other countries, including India. Our own bilateral agricultural trade relationship with India, despite the complexity of negotiating market access and maintaining the same, despite the advent of a growing number of non-tariff barriers, elevated and retaliatory tariffs, and non-science-based restrictions, has grown. Since 2020, the year when I arrived in India, I have seen food and agricultural products exports to India grow from $1.8 billion now to $2.4 billion, a record high in 2022. At the same time, I have seen India's exports of food and agricultural products to the United States jump from $5.3 billion in 2020 to a record $6.6 billion. We, the United States, we are bringing in no less than $3 billion worth of Indian seafood products, largely farmed shrimp, a record $1 billion in consumer-oriented products, which include processed fruits and vegetables, $207 million worth of baked goods and cereals and pasta, $189 million alone. We are bringing in some $334 million worth of spices and no less than $301 million worth of Indian rice. Despite such great accomplishments, we do observe that the two-way trade could be better. There is a need to lower and remove high tariffs, do away with unnecessary trade restrictive barriers, and adopt more friendly biotechnology approvals. We see that food and agricultural processing levels in India remain significantly lower in comparison to global standards, with less than 10% of its agricultural output used for processing. There are opportunities to boost processing levels and attract investment in the sector that has already attracted $710 million worth of foreign direct investment in 2022. We see food waste as being another challenge, with sources estimating that over 40% of perishable produce goes to waste. In its annual report from 2018 to 19, the Central Institute for Post-Harvest Engineering Technology, CIFET, indicates that post-harvest losses in India range from 3 to 16% for all major crops, and the level of value addition and processing is below 10%. CIFET has developed Vision 2025 and identified various programs and projects to address key issues in the post-harvest sector. It is understood that the Indian agriculture sector is gradually shifting towards horticulture and livestock production. That is poultry, dairy, and fisheries, away from traditional farming. This means that demand for fresh and processed products is on the rise, with increasing urbanization, incomes, and changing consumption habits of Indian consumers. Thankfully, several agencies in India are taking efforts to have an efficient cold chain network from farm to fork to curb food wastage of and help producers focus on quality output. But again, we see that the climate for importing food and beverage products continues to face significant challenges. India routinely changes tariff rates, experiences exchange rate fluctuations that impact affordability of imported goods, and implements a host of technical barriers to trade and sanitary and phytosanitary barriers. There is a vision in India that aims to increase the value addition of food products from the current 10% to 35%, and processing in fruits and vegetables to increase from 2 to 35% by 2025. Rising numbers of brand-oriented importers, modern e-retail platforms, and trend-setting restaurants are some of the major contributors to the growth of consumer-oriented product imports. In 2022, India imported $7.5 billion of consumer-oriented products, of which 15% was from the United States. We understand that the Indian government, through its Atmanirbhar Bharat Self-Reliant India initiative, is prioritizing the food processing sector by actively encouraging and providing incentives for increased private sector investment. The government is also promoting value addition in agricultural and allied sectors and the reduction of food waste. Additionally, the government has established 18 mega food parks and 134 cold chain projects to develop the food processing supply chain. Other government initiatives that we have heard of include financing the development of food parks, the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampadaya Yojana scheme, or PMKSY as the acronym, for cold chain and value addition infrastructure with about $28 million worth of investment. Agro processing clusters, food safety and quality assurance infrastructure, and fish processing. For the United States, we see opportunities to contribute to the success of India's food processing sector through the supply and inclusion of our own food and agricultural product exports. We see a growing food processing industry and growing demand in the tier 1 and 2 Indian cities, characterized by continuous growth of urban populations, with growing dual income households and changing spending pattern priorities. Expansion of modern food retail and e-retail, along with private label penetration. There is rising demand for frozen, ready-to-eat, and ready-to-cook products. But at the same time, we observe a series of challenges, such as processed foods being considered often as inferior to fresh foods by many consumers. Fragmented and long supply chains resulting in food waste, 30% losses due to poor harvest techniques, inadequate transportation of perishable items, and inconsistent supply of quality materials. There is inadequate primary processing and insufficient storage infrastructure, including warehousing and cold storage. These, along with high tax and market access issues, are challenges to be worked in order to become more successful global agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mariano. You have informed a lot of Indian schemes which are available. Thank you. I would now like to call upon Dr. Upasana Arora, who is the chairperson of Yashoda Hospitals and also the regional president of IACC.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity that I am speaking in front of this August gathering. It's a very important topic, and when especially our Prime Minister has taken a step for promoting millets, and this industry needs to actually work together with the US so we can learn about their technology, and our farmers can also start their work with the new technology, as well as our Prime Minister wants to double their income. So then manual work will be less, and we will do most of the work through automatic machines. Then definitely we will grow more. And there is a vast market for Indian food grains. Same time, these days I came to know that many of our big farmers has started already exporting mango pulp and different things. So already India is doing great in form of agriculture. And US-Indian relation is very important, as we have conducted a meeting with in US Embassy. So they are also very keen. US is also very keen to work with us. And the way things are changing and everybody is adopting technology, I think it is going to be become a realistic thing very soon. And all those things which we are not getting in India, we can export from there, import from there, and whatever we can export them, we can do this. Same time, technology wise, we can also exchange few things, whatever good in India. So I think agriculture is a very, very important aspect in our relationship with the US, and especially if we talk about commercial background. So it's a very good base where we can start working together. Already we are doing, but there are more initiatives which are required to take. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining from the car and giving us your valuable insights. I think now, I think we have to start the next session. And
So we
before
have
that-
closing remarks by Arun Karna.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say that.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
So I would request Mr. Arun to give a closing to the session so that we will start the next session.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Eminent speakers, distinguished guests, IICC leadership, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you would all agree that we have had a great inaugural session for this extremely important and critical summit, which has in store sessions that would be discussing prospects and challenges of agribusiness to help India emerge as an important global hub. India has always been a very strong agrarian economy, as Dr. Sudhanshu mentioned. Agriculture and allied sector actually make up about 20% of the total Indian economy, which is way higher than the global average of approximately 6.5%. As mentioned earlier also, India is the second largest producer of agricultural products and accounts for about 7.39% of total global agricultural output. One important point that has come up in the various remarks and speeches of the eminent people in the inaugural session is that India's ambition to become an important player in global agribusiness presupposes a coordinated approach of all stakeholders, be they the industry, the policymakers, the foreign investors, the export community, and most importantly, the farmers who should be the ultimate beneficiary in the process. Unfortunately, the Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, Shri Kailash Chaudharyji, could not make it in time for this particular session. But I'm sure he would be tapping in, and we'll be sure to work with him and his ministry to draw up a coordinated approach for the development of the sector, and also, what responsibilities and key takeaways that come from this session would be shared with him. Dr. Sudhanshu, Secretary, Animal Products and Processed Food, Government of India, very well outlined the policy framework of the agribusiness sector and also the successes it is spawning in various areas, especially in the areas of millets. He also very well articulated the challenges around processing capabilities and how, as an industry, we must attack this problem, and also how do we strengthen the overall end-to-end supply chains. Sir, as requested by you, or rather, as guided by you, we will definitely list out the various takeaways from the various sessions and the action plans, and we will share those with you and take your guidance on how to further proceed on those. Dr. Mariano Billard, Senior Regulatory Agriculture Attaché, US Embassy. Thank you for giving us the US perspective on the subject and how our two countries can cooperate in this sector. Thank you for your remarks as to how we could grow the Indo-US cooperation in various areas. Also probably take best practices in the areas of how best to reduce food wastage, as you've highlighted that as an issue of great concern. So we will definitely deliberate on some of the thoughts that you have expressed and assure you that we will have follow-up meetings with you, sir. Mr. Sudhir Kumar, Director Marketing, Frick India Limited, thanks for defining value addition so well. I think you got the session started on a great note. And what does value addition really mean and how it unlocks the full economic value? And what huge opportunities lie in these areas, and also what are the challenges? So thank you for articulating those so very well, sir. Dr. R.S. Sodhi, President, India Dairy Association, you further drill down on the value addition part and actually said that what it means is better value to the farmer at one hand for his produce, but also on the other hand, to the consumer, it should mean fresh produce, more nutritious products at a reasonable price, not so much the fancy packaging. So I think that really brought the discussion into focus. And you also spotlighted how India domestic market is picking up in terms of value-added market propositions, and how this is really set to grow exponentially from here on, but also highlighted some of the challenges based on your valuable experience and lessons from the dairy industry, and how we could learn from those lessons and really leverage this in the overall area of value-added products in the agribusiness. So thank you for your insights and guidance, sir. Mr. V. Lakshmi Kumaran, Managing Partner, Lakshmi Kumaran and Sridharan. You also, sir, very well highlighted the challenges and opportunities. Also in the area of, we need to be careful about what is the environmental impact of these products, and how do we convince the global markets that's what is coming out of India is not detrimental to the environment. And, we are making strides in that area. The opportunity in terms of bumping up exports via the various FTAs, which are already existing and some are in the offing, and how as an industry, we must be prepared to meet higher standards. And those higher standards should apply equally well, both for the global markets as well as for the domestic market. So I think that's a very sage advice, sir, and thank you for that. Many thanks to my leaders, Dr. Lalit Bhasin, National President, IACC, and Dr. Upasana Arora, Regional President, IACC North India Council, for the vision and guidance for this particular event, and also for your great comments and guidance here. My thanks are due to the various subject matter experts who would be speaking subsequently in these sessions to follow. And last but not the least, my thanks are due to every participant who took the time to be part of this summit, and several others who would be joining later during the course of the day. I wish them all great takeaways and all the best. And with that, thanks. I hand you back to Mr. Sudhir. Thank you, sir.
Unmute.
Thank you, Dr. Lalit Bhasin and the complete team of IACC. And due to shortage of time, the next session is about to start. Thank you all. I'm not taking the names. Thank you all the elite panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to log into a different thing, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. The link is already with you. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All the speakers are there on that link. Thank you.